Irishima Talks is the first major fight of the Seite War arc of Kagurabachi. It covers chapters 117-121, and it's peak shonen. In the previous chapter, we got a prophecy from the Soga princess, which predicted that in a couple of days, people from Shokoku, the island that appeared out of nowhere and is inhabited by an unknown nation, will request a meeting with Shokoku's royal family. The letter was written in Japanese. The princess's prophecy states that the upcoming meeting is going to be extremely hostile. And she was definitely right about that one. Before the meeting even happens, we get an interview with a guy who actually had a chance to interact with the islanders. Oh, I wonder what it was like. I hope they chill. They are not chill. Poor guy explains to us that he is the only person who fought the islanders and survived. The islanders never spoke, but he could tell that they are Japanese. More than 1,000 years ago, this land was inhabited by a sorcery clan known as Mikaboshi. Mikaboshi were defeated by the Soga clan, driven out to the southeast of Japan and then wiped out. Their descendants are the inhabitants of Shokoku Island. Over the course of millennia, they created a civilization aided by the Datanseki. Japan accepted the meeting offer, because if they refused to talk, they'd be forced to start a war. At 12 p.m., the Japanese delegation arrived on Irishima in a ship. We see 3 defenseless delegates who are definitely surviving this chapter. In a couple of moments, the Japanese battleship Haruma is instantly destroyed, and we see 4 guys who look the same and an old man in the middle appearing out of nowhere. The moment our heroes turn around, 2 of them get instantly clapped, and we see another Mikaboshi, Eren Yeager. He gives the last delegate a paper with outrageous demands, which basically sound like: you give us the land, you give us all the Datanseki you have, then you give us even more land in case it has Datanseki. We give you nothing. And if the Japanese refuse, the Mikaboshi will start a war. But before the unnamed man can sign the paper, we see Mike Go, the best character ever, the honored one, the strongest, Togo Shiba, casually appearing alongside Mashiro and 2 Soga clan members who look tough. 4 sorcerers, Togo Shiba, Shuji Mashiro, Hiroto Soga, and Yoshinojo Soga, are the smallest yet strongest squad selected by the Sorcery Bureau for this mission. Shiba kindly asks Eren Yeager to go home, but he refuses. He'll leave only when his business is done. Eren starts explaining the Mikaboshi lore, but Shiba kindly tells him not to move, or he's gonna get his ass handed to him by these gentlemen. So, because the Mikaboshi were chased off and exterminated by the Soga clan, the Mikaboshi want compensation, which is understandable. He says the land is the price for that. Then he reaches into his pocket, and before he can even pull the knife he was hiding here, he gets his fingers cut instantly by the GOAT, the best character ever, the honored one, the strongest, Hiroto Soga. The Mikaboshi guy genuinely does not care at all, and the moment he clenches his fist, explaining that they pray to Datanseki, Hiroto, as the true Soga clan member, slits his throat without hesitation. Oh, I hope this doesn't happen to any other character later. As 4 other fighters jump in the exact same moment, at 12:02, the battle on Irishima begins. All of our fighters are separated. Hiroto is carried by a soldier to the ocean, Yoshinojo fights in the forest, Shiba teleports another one into the sky, and Mashiro is just standing there. But before Mashiro can even take a breath, the evil Mikaboshi soldier launches an attack. Mashiro uses his sorcery, Aku, which creates a pressure in a specified place and a specified direction. It's basically Isu if it didn't suck. The soldier uses Keppa, an attack that summons a bee-like creature that pierces Mashiro's impulse. But my boy Mashiro reacts in time and jumps away, launching multiple attacks at him. I love to see Hakori do that with Isu. But turns out it's not enough to overpower the soldier, so Mashiro gets washed. Then the Mikaboshi soldier tries to aura farm on Mashiro, which isn't very smart of him. They can wield that power. There's no way we can win with normal attacks, says Mashiro, and then kills the soldier with a normal katana slash. Turns out Mashiro had hidden a blade in the sand. Then we see Hiroto casually carrying another soldier on his sword. Yoshinojo appears next, asking if Shiba died. Shiba arrives with an unconscious soldier who looks like he was punched to death. Now the only person standing is the old man. But before dealing with him, we see the only delegate who wasn't killed witnessing Eren Yeager's body moving. We see the flashback of the Mikaboshi praying to the stone, and then it answers them, creating a poke bowl in the depths of the ocean where they lived for centuries. In the present time, we see the old man asking if Hiroto is a Soga because he despises Soga. He explains that the man who threw Hiroto's slit is Aryu, his son and the prince of the Mikaboshi. But Shiba tells him to shut up because they attacked first. As they're talking, Mashiro looks away for a second, and then Aryu thinks to himself, "There's my chance, I better sneak up on Mashiro or I'm finished." Mashiro, like the true go he is, thinks the blow and launches multiple impulses at Aryu. Everybody else reacts and jumps Aryu at the same time. Yoshinojo attacks with his sword, Mashiro hits him with Aku, and Shiba touches him and teleports Aryu away. As Shiba and Yoshinojo jump Aryu, Hiroto decides to flex his sorcery and give Aryu PTSD. Because his sorcery, Kurotsuchi, is the same sorcery that sank the Mikaboshi clan into the ocean. Kurotsuchi is passed down through the Soga male line the same way the prophecy is passed down through the female line. Hiroto Soga is the only living practitioner who can wield it, and he tries to crush Aryu. Meanwhile, Mashiro sees the Mikaboshi soldier's head talking as we see another flashback of Aryu hating on the Soga clan and drinking magic bug juice, which looks absolutely atrocious. The Mikaboshi who are born inside of the magic Pokeball have an innate affinity for the Datanseki. There are 6 Guardians who can bear the original power of the Mikaboshi King. The Guardians can draw upon the true realm of the Datanseki. As Aryu is getting PTSD, Hiroto tries to jump him, but before he can do that, Aryu activates Sumika. Then we get a page of pure unfiltered Hiroto glaze stating that Hiroto's body can achieve the highest speed humanly possible, which is further heightened by Kurotsuchi. And then we see Hiroto with all of his speed and strength getting washed by Aryu. Shiba tries to teleport Aryu, but Aryu does not care. He is somehow invulnerable to sorcery now, so Shiba teleports Hiroto before he gets crushed by Aryu. But Aryu just grabs him and absolutely humiliates both of them. Shiba is washed, Hiroto is washed, and Mashiro is currently unavailable. Are we finished? Who's gonna save us? Then the best character ever, the honored one, the strongest, arrives. Yoshinojo Soga, save the Soul Society. As Yoshinojo arrives, Aryu disappears like a coward, circling around the forest waiting for an opportunity to sneak up on him. As Yoshinojo is looking around, Aryu attempts an ambush, but Yoshinojo of course reacts in time. He figures out the secret of Sumika. It fills the air with toxins and numbs the senses of anyone in the radius. Also, it nullifies sorcery attacks. Yoshinojo bit his tongue, which allowed him to clear his senses. The goal is ready to finish Aryu. But first, we see Hiroto waking up. He and Mashiro have to come up with a plan to finish off Aryu with a physical attack, since sorcery seems to be ineffective. Then the best character ever, the honored one, the strongest, Mashiro, uses his sorcery to compress the remains of the ship into a big chunk of iron. Meanwhile, Yoshinojo is 1v1 in Aryu without using any kind of sorcery, just pure skill. But pure skill isn't enough since he gets turned into a donut by Aryu. But his role is just to buy Hiroto and Mashiro some time. Hiroto uses Kurotsuchi to manipulate the huge mess of ship chunks. Yoshinojo holds Aryu down, not allowing him to move. Before both of them get crushed, my go Shiba teleports Yoshinojo away and we see a huge explosion. After that, we see a severely injured Aryu who's really mad trying to heal himself. Before he can do that, Hiroto attacks him and uses Kurotsuchi to weight Aryu down. Then Shiba uses his sorcery, which produces the same amount of force as Kurotsuchi. Shiba's sorcery is Itazura. It activates a momentary error for himself and whomever he touches, manipulating their positional information and physical properties such as height, weight, and so on. But even with the force of both Kurotsuchi and Itazura, Aryu is still able to move. Mashiro appears and uses metal scraps to restrain Aryu. Yoshinojo goes for Aryu's head. This is the climax. Aryu Mikaboshi fucking kills Yoshinoja because he's a cheater and it wasn't fair and it didn't count. Up until now, the power that we've seen was just a mere side effect. Sumika's power is the power to annihilate the enemy. So basically Sumika's power is fuck you, you die. Before Mr. Strongest and Fastest Sorcerer can react, he gets obliterated by the same attack that killed Yoshinoja. And before Mr. Pinnacle of Sorcery can react, Mashiro gets obliterated as well. Even though Mashiro is hanging on for his dear life, he's still able to use his sorcery and uses his katana to kill Aryu. No, he doesn't succeed. Aryu catches the blade and slashes Shiba's throat with Mashiro's sword, which is just disrespectful at this point. Everybody from the anti-Mikaboshi elite squad is officially washed. Then we get an absolutely devastating and heartbreaking flashback from Mashiro's POV. Mashiro was kicked out when he was little. Then he was taken in by the Sorcery Bureau. But it was all about training. He never experienced what warmth is. But then, when he met Shiba, Shiba taught him everything, including the things a kid is not supposed to do. He questions himself. Why was he Shiba's partner? But the answer is, who else could it be? Shiba is barely but still alive. Aryu drags him and explains how he applied Sumika to him to keep him alive. Shiba teleports and attacks Aryu, but he gets washed. The only reason Shiba is alive is because they need a messenger to relay their demands. Now what happens next is actually wild. Aryu proceeds to leave Shiba on the ground and drag a couch over just so he can sit there and aura farm on the poor guy. This is the most disrespectful and humiliating experience I've ever seen. Aryu is the definition of a hater. He gave Shiba a PTSD, a scar for his life. I already seen Mr. Pinnacle of Sorcery recording YouTube videos about how he's afraid of Aryu Mikaboshi. The fight ends with one man, Togo Shiba, returning to Japan. My conclusion is that the Mikaboshi are evil and they need to go down. We need strong alpha males from the Soga clan like Akimura Soga. Thank you for watching.